Hello everyone, this is the Chief Philistine, and I suck at Arena. So this run's been going really well for me, 6-1. That's that's incredible. I don't normally do anywhere near that well here. Excuse me. So we're just gonna keep on pushing and see what we can do. I mean, even if I get two losses here, I'm already really happy with my progress. And who knows, maybe I can go even further. So I've been playing a warrior deck in my play mode lately. That's been a lot of fun. I'll probably try to put up a few videos of it soon. See where we can go with it. Come on, come on. There we go. Coffee Addict. Best player ever. Sweet, I get to fight a priest. Alright, so taking a look at this hand, it is garbage, garbage, garbage. Really don't have much use for it. Let's see if we can get something a little bit better. Oh boy, that might have been a mistake. Alright, what have we got? And the No Wish Adventure comes back to haunt me. Wonderful. This may end up being loss number 2. No? Does he have a first turn play? He does, and it's a cleric. Ugh. There we go, Ironbark Protector. That's gonna help. Alright, straight into the face. The main thing I have to make sure is that I'm not damaging the cleric, because otherwise it's gonna make my life miserable. That's the last thing I need is for him to be getting cards. I'll take that all day. Oh, jeez. Well, at least I've got all sorts of 4-turn plays here. Whee! Alright, so next turn I can No Wish Inventor for a card. I can Spellbreaker if I really want to silence the cleric. I can drop a Cult Master. I got some options. Harvest Golem. Yay. Could swipe. Might not be a terrible idea. Let's see. My options right now, I can swipe. I can No Wish Inventor for a card. Cult Master, but that dies to the Harvest Golem and gives him a Golem back. Yeah, I think this turn we No Wish Inventor. That doesn't help out much. Yeah. Okay, let this be a warning. When your deck doesn't have a whole lot of low drops, do not play the Mana Addict. Do not get rid of the Mana Addict. Yeah, he'll heal it to get a card back. Alright, so... yeah, I know exactly what I do here.
Hey, give me a minute.
I go straight into his face, and then I'm going to drop a swipe on the cleric. So, unfortunately, that means that he still has that, but at least he gets that card draw out of his hand. And next turn I can just drop a Sunwalker, which is great news for me. Ooh, that is a huge Drake. I think I'm in a lot of trouble here. Oh wait, no I'm not. I can make that. There's absolutely no good reason not to just silence that right now. Okay, so next turn I can Sunwalker, I can Tiger, I can... so I might Tiger and Mana Addict. I don't know, we'll have to see what he does. I mean, he can trade that Drake for whatever he wants now, but at least it's not a 4/9. There we go. Alright, so based off of what he just dropped, I think the smart play is probably the Sunwalker, because then he has to Well, no, those don't trade because it's a 4/5. Lovely, I needed that to pop up. Okay, I think we just go... I do think we play the Sunwalker here. Because if he wants to kill it, he'll have to burn another card to break the shield, which he may have. Very likely have, actually, as a priest. All he needs is a smite. But at least it causes him to burn some cards. Or he'll Alchanize Soul Priest. Yay, Worgen Infiltrator. Yeah, this is not going my way. So let's see here. My options right now. I could drop a Stampeding Kodo, which would kill the Worgen. And then he... It's a 3/5, so he can just kill it with a Shadow Word. Not a good idea. I can drop the Iron Bark, which he has to run 2 creatures into, and one of them has to be the... but once again, he might have Shadow Word Death, which... that's a problem. Senjin gives me kind of the same issue. I think I'll play the Kodo, get a guaranteed 2-for-1 here. And then I can drop... Honestly, it's just a card at this point. I'm sure he'll go. I'm sure he's going to go for my face. That's largely what I would do in this circumstance. See if we can draw out a Shadow Word Pain here. He can also throw the Soul Priest into it and heal the Kodo, which is something to be aware of, because the Soul Priest won't die. Well, at least I've got him thinking now, so that's good news. That's actually the main reason why I didn't drop, well, that and the fact that Shadow Word Pain, figured that was coming. Still, it got a card. And that's what I was hoping for. So, this turn, I think I'm going to go Senjin, and then I'll drop the Tiger, because a Consecrate won't kill the Tiger.
Vaporization commencing.
And I could pull out another Shadow Word Pain. What do we got? Yep, here it comes. Ah, that's an interesting... I've never actually thought of using the card that way. Let's see here. Is there anything I can do to save myself now? Oh boy. Watch him get the Iron Bark. Oh, that's funny too. Alright, so what do we got here? What we got here right now is that I am quite thoroughly dead next turn. If he has Shadow Word. if he has Shadow Word Pain, I'm dead next turn. Shadow Word Death, excuse me. So what we're going to do here is we're going to trade that out. Get rid of the boar. And I'm going to go with the Ancient of War over the Protector. Let's see here. Go with the Rooted. And I'll drop down a Harvest Golem just to buy a little more. I could have armored there and bought myself potentially another turn, but he could just heal me. Now, does he have the Shadow Word Death? Yeah. Because that wouldn't have... If he has the Shadow Word Death, the armor wouldn't have saved me anyway. Wouldn't have helped me anyways. Mind Vision. Oh, God. Hopefully he got the Mana Addict, because it would be kind of bad if he got the Protector, and the Cult Master would not be ideal for me either. Well, I'd like to think if he got the Ironbark Protector, he'd play it pretty much immediately. Is that my Ironbark Protector? Come on, make me largely... Yeah, he got the Protector. And then he's going to coin to do 2 damage to me. Interesting. Alright, so now... what do I do? Well, pretty much I have to kill that Protector, so we'll drop out the drop out my Ironbark Protector, armor up just because I've got the 2 mana and the Mana Addict's not really going to help me any, and then we can just throw everything we have into the Protector.
Vaporization commencing.
I still get a critter. Still get a critter back, which is okay. And I got 2 of these up, so unless he's got the Shadow Word Death, he's not going to be able to get through next turn, and I've got something of an advantage. And then I guess I just punch him in the face, because I can't take a hit off either of those critters. The one thing that maybe saved me here is that he doesn't necessarily have Shadow Word Death, because this is Arena. Alright, what you got now? And there's Shadow Word Death. That's game. Alright, yep, well played. Alright. So that was kind of unfortunate, but I also haven't played this. I also haven't played this deck in a little while. Just 1 second. Alright, this could be my last game. Have to see what I get into there. Not really sure what I could have done better there. I'd actually have to go back and watch this again and see where I screwed up. But what can you do? Oh, I know exactly where I screwed up. I didn't have anything to play for 4 times. That's a pretty big screw up. Die. Oh, come on. Penniless Paladin. That would have been a better choice. Alright, a mage.
You asked for it.
I must protect the wild.
Alright, definitely keeping the fairy dragon. I'll dump those 2 for now. You know, I'm playing a silly phone game with somebody that has a very similar name to this opponent. I'm wondering if it's the same person, but who knows. Because turn 1 fairy dragon is never bad. Because I can turn 1 fairy dragon, I can turn 2, turn into a critter.
Put this apple on your head.
That's a knife juggler. So now we have an interesting question. Do I trade for the knife juggler, or do I send my guy into the face? I don't have any plays for the. I don't have any plays for the next turn. So I think what I do here is I just start armoring up and go for the face. Because if I lose that fairy dragon, I'm kind of in the same situation that I was in last game.
Someday I'll be just like you.
Yep, and that went to me, so that's just fine. He took the trade. That works out for me just perfectly. I'm not really in a bad way right now. Alright, so I can bore and I can get rid of that. That's probably a really good idea. take 2 damage and lose a card to get rid of a pint-sized summoner, and I've got access to some plays next turn, so that's pretty good. So if he plays something good, I'll swipe it next turn. Otherwise, I'll just drop the Gnomish Inventor. I'll play Gnomish Inventor versus a Farseer. Farseer's not a big deal. Get another card to be helpful. Hey, Ancient of War. That'll be useful in a couple of turns. So next turn I can Druid of the Claw. Yep. So what you got? That's an interesting decision. I'm not certain why you would do that. I mean, I guess it made things swipe immune, but well, now I've got some really interesting options because I can play Sen'jin, and he's got to run either 2 creatures into it and Fire Blast me, or use a Fireball or bigger, which is not terrible for me. I can drop the Stranglethorn Tiger and rely on the fact that he can't do too much damage to me. I can drop the Druid of the Claw, which would be a 4/6. I think this turn I go with the Sen'jin, because maybe I can bait out a Fireball, which would not be terrible. If I can get the Fireball out and then drop the Druid of the Claw, I've still got the better creature. There we go. That's exactly what I was hoping he was going to do. Alright. So what do I do this turn? I can't Azure Drake and swipe this turn. It's too expensive. So that doesn't work. I could drop a Jungle Panther. I don't think that's really much better. I think I just keep on causing him to deal with taunts, because next turn I can Ancient of... Next turn I can drop an Ancient of War. Right, yeah, Ancient of War. Because right now, once again, he's got to throw everything he's got at that. Or he can just poly it, but that's okay. That eats a poly out of his hand, which is also useful. The biggest problem I'm having right now is I'm just not getting any damage on his cards. And that's really not helping me. Yeah, so this turn we're going to drop the Ancient of War. Are we? Yeah. Now, it's very, very likely that he'll pull another bit of removal and I'll just be hosed here. But that's what happens when you're fighting a mage. Because he could poly, I mean, I'm not too concerned about a Fireball. Poly's my big concern right now. But if he doesn't have the poly, I can start removing creatures. Yeah, I have to assume that if he had a poly, he would use it. Okay. So this is actually really... No, I'm not on the right turn. If this was next turn, this would be amazing. Alright, so what do we do? What do we do here? Much as I hate using it, because I've used this to win so many games, I think I'm going to just have to kill that Venture Co. mercenary. There we go. Oh, that didn't quite kill it. Whoops. I can't swipe this turn anymore anyway, so... This is really dangerous. Alright, And then we need to get rid of the most dangerous thing he's got, and that's definitely that thing. Because he can just poke it next turn and make it nasty.
Let the pain speak to me.
There you go. So he's going to poke that for a card. I think he's looking for something to deal with the Ancient, and that's going to be a Poly, isn't it? Oh, Cone of Cold. That I'm not worried about at all. That's just a nuisance. And that thing's damaged. This is, I've got full board clear now. This is really good. Okay, so the question is, how do I do it? Because I could Darland Mage into a swipe and still have some mana left over, or I can Azure Drake for a card into a swipe. Azure Drake's a bigger creature. I think I really need to do that this turn. And then we will just swipe that and wipe the board. And now we have both a board and a card advantage. So now I just have to hope that he doesn't have, like, Pyroblast or something.
Squire, attend me.
Not too worried about your Squire attend me.
That belongs in a museum.
Ooh, you actually drafted Harrison? Ouch. Ah, well. That's just fine. Play an Ironbark. Drop a Loot Hoarder. And then we just eliminate a few threats. I think in this case, see, we'll do it in the way that I take the least amount of damage here. So you say that card's already done its job, and so has the Ancient of War. So next turn, if he doesn't just poke the Loot Hoarder, I can take out the Squire. Of course, he's got 10 mana, but he's only got 3 cards. Oh, he's gonna... That works out just fine for me. What else have you got?
I'm ready. I'm not ready.
Okay. Alright, so I can't quite... And next turn he can poke me, which is not good. How do I handle this? Because I'm really out of taunts here. Actually, I know exactly how I handle this. I'm going to send the Loot Hoarder into him. That gives me a card. Play a Claw. Armor up here so that I only take 1 damage from this. Send the Protector into his face. And we can play one of these, which he can't do anything to next turn. And that's good. I mean, now he's just going to play the 2 mana to blow that up, but that's okay. Oh, and that's a secret.
Master of magics.
So that could be any number of things. Well, let's see. If this turns out to be a mirror entity, which is the most likely event, I want to make sure he gets something that isn't very good. Handle it. Let's see. I could handle a Stampeding Kodo. It's not. But the best thing for me to drop for him to steal would be a Gnomish Inventor. Okay, did not trigger that, so it's not mirror entity. So is it a counterspell? Is it a vaporize? Now, we will armor up. That way that thing can't do any significant damage to me next turn. And I will drop a Jungle Panther. Because next turn now, I can run, unless he can kill it, I run the... That's kind of obnoxious. Alright, so now my options are a little bit more limited here. I know it's not a copy now, so I can drop that safely. Drop out a Harvest Golem. Armor up. Well, this is something I can do to find out if it's the armor one. It's not the armor one. Alright. At this point, you're just top decking, so this one is either a counterspell. Yep, Poly. Perfect. Alright, so run Harvest Golem at. Find out if it's Vaporize. It's not Vaporize. That means it's either counterspell or the steal it or steal a buff. I can play the Voodoo to heal up the Tiger. And I can play the Dark Iron to buff up the Tiger. Now she'll draw Flame Strike. Suppose I could have Stampeding Kodo, but like I said, this could be a Flame Strike turn and then I'm in trouble. Yep, there we go. Top deck for the win. Those are not going to help me too much here. I should have dropped the Kodo last turn. The Flame Strike wouldn't have killed everything then. Alright, so what are you going to top deck this time? Because I can just slowly burn you down.
I wonder.
You have one card. What do you wonder? So next turn, I don't really have any good plays if we're being fair. Oak. Alright. Silence the Berserker. Face. Armor. Face. And turn. How have I gotten so much card draw?
You win this one.
Well, that was certainly an intense game. Yay, Iron Bark Protector for my actual Druid deck if I build one. Not bad. Sweet, 7-2. Really not bad. Alright, got time for one more? Let's see what happens. Whew. Yeah, not killing off that thing was a mistake. If I'd thought about it more, that Flame Strike, I would have won earlier without the Flame Strike. Excuse me, without the Flame Strike doing 5 damage. but that's okay.
Versus Thrall.
Alright, Thrall, let's see if we can take this up to 8.
I must protect the wild.
Okay. Do not need Ancient Watcher, and I really don't need Ancient of War, even though I have Innervate. I'll keep the Cult Master because if nothing else, I could, like, drop it on turn 1. Although I think I'm better off going for a turn 2 Druid. Melons. I'm not sure, I'd have to look at it again, but I think that the board map is the only one that you can't break anything on. Yeah. Innervates, Mana Crystal, and then we drop Druid of the Bearform. Now it's worth noting that he might have a Hex in there. In fact, he probably does, but not overly worried about it. I also don't think that he has any way of poking that. Could be very wrong there, though. I don't know Shaman decks at all. So let's see here. Next turn, I don't really have any plays, so it's just armor up and face somebody. Oh, Feral Spirit. Ancient of War doesn't help me any. So we just start taking out Feral Spirits here. Click that button for the armor and wait until next turn when I have some plays. I don't see any reason to take 1 damage, just do a little bit of damage to the... It's not like it'll take it down into swipe range. I mean, that move definitely stalled him out, which is nice. Stormforge Axe. And the Ancient Watcher is back. Man, I wish I hadn't drafted that card. Okay, so that thing's a 2/2. So the Cult Master does me absolutely no good. He'll just kill it with the axe. So I think this turn I just swipe, get that thing off the board, and wait until next turn to see what I get. Because next turn I can Azure Drake, which is definitely a threat.
Wanna blow something up?
Hey, Mad Bomber. 1, 2, 3. Oh, well. See, whenever I use Mad Bomber, it only destroys my stuff. Well, he's smart. He didn't axe me. There you go. So now I can play Ascension, which is not bad. Azure Drake. Azure Drake, he has to 2-for-1 with the axe and the goblin, but so same thing with Ascension. And Azure's a little bit more useful. So I think I'll throw the Ascension out there for now. Because I can Azure next turn. I can. Nice thing is I've got 3 taunts now. See what kind of damage he has, because it's also possible that he's hiding a. There you go. So that was a really good trade for him. But this turn, yeah, I'm pretty sure I just drop the Sunwalker and buy some time.
Truth is my shield.
Because unless he's got a damage spell, he's not breaking the shield without losing something. I mean, I think in this case, you probably... Hex. Wondering when that was going to come out. That's okay, though. Because unless he's got another one, next turn I've got Ancient of War.
must cleanse the Sunwell.
1-3 totem. That's actually kind of cute. All right. Yeah, I think I got an Ancient Award this turn. This one isn't looking so good, but then the last one wasn't looking so good for a while there, too. Oops, rooted. That would have been really bad. Now watch me have another Hex. If that happens, this game's probably over. And he gets the one that gives him a little bit extra damage. Rock Bite or something? Oh, he's really pushing for the spell power now. This ought to be interesting. What's he got? Yeah, I don't think we're going to make it this time, kids. Is there anything I can do to stop this? That's because he's got lethal on the board. I don't have a taunt. I don't have any chargers. Nope, that would be game.
Well played. I can see you will.
All right. Well, that went pretty... All things considered, that went pretty well. 7-3 is not a bad record, especially not for somebody that's really inexperienced. So let's see what I get. Not really sure if I could have done anything better in that game. Let's see here. Pack. 20 gold and 160 gold. Nice. So I just bought my way back into Arena. Sweet. That's exactly what we wanted to see. Alright, take a look at the pack and then call this. Wow. Alrighty then. So we got ourselves 2 uncommons, 2 rares, and an epic in that pack. Not bad. And Cold Blade Oracle's nice because I do eventually want to build a Murloc deck. So I'm pretty happy with that. Mark of Nature, yeah, that'll be good for my druid. Sweet. Alright, everyone. Well, thank you all for watching. And as always, if you're not having fun, why are you playing?